Can I force mental health treatment on an adult?
I think that's called gaslighting.
We bought 300 freaking turkeys this year for people that needed turkeys. We gave away last year like $50,000-$60,000 worth of Christmas presents. Like, there's all these things that we do because we like doing.
Yeah.
But nobody really knows about it.
Yeah. His DNA is all over her, all over the bed. A lot of the evidence that was inside that apartment at the time. So
how did they miss that the first go around? All right. Coming to you live from the Campione Law Studio with great vigor and enthusiasm for this wonderful day on the podcast.
He worked out with the dumbbell today, so he's feeling vigorous.
We're coming to you live on episode 10 of Allegedly. Frank, look into the microphone when you talk.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. So we had a wonderful episode last week. We introduced Frank to the podcast. The people love him. The comments are out of control. I think we had a whole 2 comments about how much they loved Frank Campione.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, so we brought him back by popular
They mentioned me. I didn't think they were good.
Well, and I put my foot in my mouth last week. There's a little fly here. I commented. I said, let's see how many people actually watch this podcast. Let me drop a little bit of hot news. Little did I know, I stepped right into it. People do watch the podcast. And, ended up on a few TikToks and channels. And, I felt a little heat this week. But
yeah, you're not just talking to empty space out there. There's actually people listening.
And God bless all you guys for out there listening. We appreciate you. We love you. And, we're here to give you an entertaining show. And if, we got some news to break, we want to break some news.
Yeah, for sure.
Normally at this
Sorry, I thought this was America. You can say whatever you want.
Normally at this point in the podcast, we'd talk a little Jaguar football. But thankfully, we got some things to be thankful for. The Jaguars did not lose this week. Trevor Lawrence had an excellent week. I think probably his best quarterback rating of the entire season.
Excellent.
My Seminoles, too. Wonderful weekend in Seminoles.
Oh, and the Gators, man. Really good Florida weekend.
A lot of things to be happy for. But I kid.
I have nothing to be happy about. I got trampled in fantasy, so I don't want to talk about it.
Did you? I was so close. I was, I had that guy Merritt on the Washington Commanders and Hollywood Brown in Kansas City. I needed 8 points.
Is he from L.A.?
No, he could be.
I actually don't think he is. I think he's from Florida, Hollywood.
He could be from South Florida.
Probably Hollywood, Florida.
Well, they say typically people who call themselves Hollywood don't actually ever make it to Hollywood. So
Fair. Hollywood had 0 points.
Oh boy.
And Merritt had like 2.5, so I lost again.
Yeah, one of my leagues, they had Rice on available because he's been suspended. So I just picked him up, and he's been balling. It's been awesome.
Oh, good for you. You play with a bunch of schmucks.
One of those leagues you're in with me. So.
Oh, it is? It is. Okay, I guess I'm the schmuck. That was a good one. All right. Well, so, for every week, or most every week that I remember, I ask the audience, I say, come on, if you got any questions, if you want anything, any topics for us to talk about, send us an email. Well, somebody sent Will an email. They said, hey, you should go to Reddit, pull up the stuff where people are asking attorney questions and run through it. So I thought, hey, let's give the people what they want. Let's go to Reddit.
It's entertainment. That's what you got to do.
Yes. Yes. Give the people what they want.
What kind of questions?
Well, did you find anything good? This is a good one. Can you shoot someone who flashes a gun? Location, Kentucky. I think that matters. I guess I'll do the read-in here.
I think that matters. Well, some states are a little more pro-gun than others.
Location, Kentucky, U.S. Obviously. My friend reportedly told me about a shooting that occurred at a gas station near his work. He said the man came in around 3 to 4 a.m., allegedly drunk, and tried to buy beer, and the attendant wouldn't sell it to him since it was outside of sale hours. Poor guy. I guess the man started getting argumentative and aggressive and lifted his shirt, showing the employee his firearm. And the employee responded by drawing his own firearm and shooting the man. From my understanding, the man who was shot survived and the employee has been terminated. Did he have justification to shoot him? And could the man he shot come after him civilly? That is a fair question. Now, I think we should address it, though, as if this event happened in Florida, as this is a Florida-based podcast, and we have expertise in Florida law. Let's just say it happened at the local Circle K in Ponte Vedra.
Yeah. Well, it's a loaded question because he's talking about civilly and criminally, I guess. It's kind of a blend.
It's a part one, part two.
Yeah, so I think criminally, I think you have an argument there that you didn't have, as much as it's crazy for somebody to go in there flashing a gun, I guess, but it doesn't sound like they pulled it out, pointed it at the guy. You might have a tough time saying that you had imminent danger or reasonable use of force.
I think in the state of Florida, if this would have happened in like Polk County, old Sheriff Grady would be on there talking about, and the man came into the gas station and thought he could get away with flashing this 9mm. And what did that gas station clerk do? Like any good American would have do, filled him with lead.
But we are now
say that word for word.
But we are now an open carry state, are we not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that means.
But I think
doesn't it depend on the business and what their firearm guidelines are on the outside of the building? Typically now.
Now, I would imagine anybody coming at 4 a.m. trying to buy beer and getting denied and flashing a gun is probably...
Mom always said nothing good happens after midnight, so...
They're probably a convicted felon. But putting that aside... and their ability...
Ponte Vedra at Circle K?
Well, no, I was joking about Ponte Vedra.
This would never happen.
Yes, it would never happen. I don't think it's ever happened in the history of Ponte Vedra. As a Ponte Vedra resident, I know these things. It's very posh.
I don't know how you guys live on that side of town.
Yes, I know. It's rough out there. St. Johns County. Wow, but I think if you're actually flashing the firearm, the argument could certainly be made that you were doing it in an aggressive manner. Why else would you flash a firearm? Yeah. And if the person could reasonably articulate that they felt fear to their life or person in that incident, I think they would be justified to, quote unquote, stand their ground.
Yeah,
with the stand your ground law.
I think if you had obviously this would help if we saw like a video, right?
Yes.
Because I think there's a difference between flashing it with it like holstered. There's no way you would have been in actual harm because he's not like able to pull the finger on the trigger. But
imagine it went something like this.
But
give me that beer.
But also if he flashed it and maybe he thought he was about to grab the gun and he was reacting as fast as he could. I think there's arguments to make both sides, but I think criminally you still could be charged probably as the
I'm sure the facts are there, but I think a lot of it's going to depend on the circumstances, and hopefully there's some sort of camera footage. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, this guy maybe accidentally kind of show it off by accident, and this clerk just starts unloading on him. Just like, is that what happened? Like,
he's going to get his wallet, and his shirt pulls up.
Whoa.
Yes. Well, and
I'm threatened for my life.
I think that's an important distinction, though. It's like if you are the clerk, right, and there is a reasonable fear that you might be assaulted with that deadly weapon.
I would say
You're within
totality
your
of the
rights.
circumstances.
Yes.
4 a.m., drunk guy getting aggressive.
Well, how about flipping it on the
there.
civil side? We get the guy that gets shot. He wants us to make a claim against Gate. We know they have this huge policy that
Michael.
But is it
this negligent worker that just was so aggressive and shot.
But is there some comparative negligence there? I mean, wouldn't
you sound like a defense
what's the percentage of this guy's fault? How much was he provoking? I mean, how much is it his?
And he was probably intoxicated, which
that doesn't help your case there. Yeah, this is probably not a great case, but
probably not a great case. I don't know if we would take this one.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a tough set of facts. That sounds like a
big policy limits,
law school
big damages,
exam written, fact pattern or something.
It does, and obviously, when you're dealing with a civil case, there's a lower standard of proof. It's a preponderance of evidence.
Yeah.
You know, it's over 50%, whether or not, you know, there was negligence. You know, there's things that go into it. So I think the final answer is based upon the totality of the circumstances, the gas station attendant was probably in the right.
Yeah, I think you have an argument, like you said, stand your ground.
For a defense.
But it depends on the video, I think, going to Frank's analogy.
Based on the totality.
Yeah. So
Probably.
But there's a defense. A good criminal defense will get this guy out of it.
I think so. In civilly, from a civil standpoint, you know, if I was the attorney in that case came in my door, I would certainly vet it.
Right.
You know,
Definitely would want to see that video.
I would want to see the video.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Big time.
100%. Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot to unpack there. Will, hit the next one, buddy.
Well, what do we got next?
Ooh. You want to rip this one off, Mike?
Landlord's dog bit me on their property. They have no insurance.
Well, two things, I guess.
I want to. It's not. Why am I not that surprised? This is from Southern California. Just a dog running loose. No one's got insurance on the
A
property.
massive pit bull, you know what I mean? Almost like a ludicrous, cartoonish version of him holding back pit bulls on a chain. You know?
This beautiful California house with no insurance.
Hey, there's definitely parts of Southern California that are not that beautiful.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I'm picturing like a dirt yard with a chain link fence.
Well, I mean, I thought it was all desert now after that fire. I thought they were trying to repurpose that land for sale or something like that. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah,
Don't
it's a
listen to me.
Gavin Newsom scheme.
I'm sure it's got something to do with the betterment of California.
Let's take this and bring it back to Florida. Landlord's dog bit me on their property. They have no insurance. So you theoretically, and Mike, you've handled a couple of these cases.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like every dog bite case you pretty much unfortunately get is that just for people that, you know, don't know out there, like the issue's not necessarily like the liability. It's actually favorable for you. So if you get, you know, bit by a dog, the owner of the dog in a strict liability. They're
The
liable.
dog is an aggressive dog. It's strict liability.
Yeah, liability. They're liable no matter what. Meaning you don't have to prove that they're at fault. It's just about your damages. The problem in those cases is there's usually no insurance, like the question alluded to.
Well, it's not just that there's no insurance, but what people don't realize is most homeowners policies, which would deal with a property, right? They even if there is insurance, they exclude
Correct.
dog bites, right?
Right.
So you might have insurance, but you might not realize that buried in Article 14, Section 2E3I,
Somewhere in the back. Yeah.
that there's
I'm literally picturing the page of a policy and the exact language that you're talking about. I can see it in my head. So, but yeah, that's
Which is usually the case, right? Because if you have a mortgage, you probably have property insurance, but you end up in a situation where you effectively have no coverage.
But I will say, once in a while, if it does happen to you and you do have an injury, still vet it out because once in a while you do have these insurance policies that do cover them. Like we had one this year, you know, settled for 6 figs. So it was actually a pretty...
6 figures means $100,000 plus. So if you do have a dog bite, don't hesitate to call us.
okay, boomer.
Well, I just wanted to break it down for the elderly folks.
Yeah,
out
you
there.
never know.
You never know.
Yeah, they may be the majority of our audience. We don't know.
We don't know.
Can we get some demographics?
Yes, Will. We need some demographic data here so we can tailor this podcast.
I want to know. Who am I talking to?
Will's not even listening.
Guys, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign.
It's not.
I want to know who's listening. I want to know.
We're talking about how to tailor this podcast for the demographics. That's, you know. Age. Well, we were just talking about
There we
boomer.
go.
And location, like if it's in the U.S., London.
Ooh, that's good.
See, we have a big contingent in Romania.
What?
I'm like 90% of the viewers.
Romania, Armenia.
Yes, a bunch of credit card scammers on here trying to pick up.
I was going to say VPNs, don't they change where the country of origin is?
Frank, what's your social security number?
I just give it out to everyone who asks for it.
Jesus Christ, buddy, we're on a serious podcast here. All right.
I'm sorry, I didn't know the world stops.
Can I force mental health treatment on an adult in the state of Florida? Now, this is
I think that's called gaslighting.
Well, I know that, you know, we have, you know, the Baker Act.
Yeah.
Right. And, if somebody's Baker acted, I believe that they can be confined for mental health treatment if they meet certain elements for a period of no more than, I think, 3 days.
Yeah, I think they go under review, and then they can be held for 3 days, and then I think in certain circumstances a judge can order stuff later on. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it from my understanding.
Yeah, I could not tell you what those elements are offhand. But if somebody's deemed to be a threat to themselves or someone
others.
else,
Yeah.
it gives cause in order to hold somebody longer than I think that mandatory or that maximum period.
But I think to answer the question, you can't really force mental health treatment. I guess you can get them
Yes.
evaluated. You
can
I'm
force
sure
a hold.
I'm sure the court can order additional testing or something if there's some merit for it. But
If that was true, we'd have no more. We'd have no more homelessness.
yeah, or at least a lot of them, being forced into some type of treatment.
Just makes me think of that episode of The Office where Michael Scott tries to force Meredith into rehab. What bar are we going to? I don't know. I've never heard of this bar.
Is that a real episode?
Yeah.
Is it like a short one? Will, can you play it? I want to watch it.
I mean, I'm sure we could find that clip. for
Office
sure, but-
episode, Meredith forced into rehab.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's a very funny episode. Actually, I think it's one of the Christmas episodes as well.
Reminds me of my first marriage.
They try to go around the room and talk about how her drinking has affected everyone. And Michael says, well, I was having a good time, and because you got so drunk, we had to stop. So that's how it affected me.
Oh yeah, the Moroccan Christmas.
Yeah, that's it. Moroccan Christmas. Meredith goes to rehab.
What a good show.
Is that real? Oh, heard it work in North Carolina.
Okay.
I've been a Panda Express employee for a few years now, and today at work, a vent panel fell from the ceiling and smashed into the side of my face, scratched my glasses, and I'm already bruising up. Is this something that I'm just going to have to deal with? Or is it something that is a blessing in disguise? If negligence is proven, should I explore a personal injury claim beyond comp? I have the video, and the stupid vent panel just came out of nowhere. I was crying for an hour, North Carolina. That's kind of an interesting one. Like if we were going to take it and apply it to Florida, and it's a common question, that we run into with workers' comp versus PI, right? And typically, the standard is, right, if you're at work and you get hurt, it's a workers' comp claim. But there are certain exceptions to that. And like an exception I see here where a piece of ventilation or a vent panel fell from the ceiling and smashed her, I doubt a Panda Express representative or, a franchisor was the one who installed that vent panel. It was probably a third-party company.
Right.
And if the injury is due to something a third party did, there are certain things you could potentially bring a third-party claim outside of a workers' comp claim against that third party.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Whenever you're evaluating these cases, you're looking at, obviously we're applying it to a Florida law, and it's pretty similar everywhere else. When you're injured at your job, even if your job was the one that's negligent, in most cases they're going to be protected under workman's comp statute and have to go through there. But as you said earlier, if there's a third party that was independently negligent that may have caused this, then you have a whole separate claim. So really you need an attorney that either knows two aspects of that law or you need two different attorneys that may be able to help you out with that.
I think you just made a great plug for Campion Law.
Oh.
Campion Law not only employs a plethora of personal injury attorneys, but we also have a workers' comp division.
That is true. I had
So you could bring
no
it
idea.
under one roof and theoretically have both aspects of your claim handled with care.
Seamless plug.
Seamless.
We didn't even plan that ad right there, guys.
Yes.
That was good.
Isn't it funny, like, this might be my ignorance, right? But was segue a word before the Segway was invented?
That's good trivia.
You're talking about
question.
Segway, the
The little robot thing, or like the cops
I'm
ride.
pretty positive the word existed before.
Just saying.
pretty positive. But I mean, I could be totally wrong here, but
You're probably right, though.
I'm pretty sure.
But it makes you think.
The term has been around.
I mean, that's probably why they named it the Segway, because it gets you from point A to point B.
I mean, that'd be pretty impressive. You invent a word and a really practical, mobile device that gets you from point A to point B efficiently.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny though. Like I remember those, like when I was a kid, right? This is the future, right?
Yeah, like,
everybody's going to be
I'm just-
riding a Segway.
Just gonna be riding this around the office all day, every day,
Exactly, right? We're just cruising through the hallways on our Segways,
slapping hands, high fives,
and it's funny.
lots
like,
of smiles, lots
me,
of high fives.
me included, right? Like America's fat enough. Could you imagine if we were all riding around on Segways everywhere? All right, is this the video?
Yeah, this is it looks like Moroccan Christmas. Yeah.
Let's see. It's only 3 minutes of y'all's lives that you have to sit through.
Oh well, there's a whole.
I
section.
didn't even show the.
It didn't even show the part we were talking about. But there's a whole section where he lies to her and says, "Yeah, we're gonna go to a bar," and then she's in the car, and she's like, "Where are we going? Port Richards? No, we're gonna go to this new place. What's it? This one? This one?" He goes, "No, not that, not that." She's like, "Oh, I don't know any other bars. This must be really new." And then he pulls into the rehab center, and she's like, "I don't think so."
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Kind of reminds me of our Christmas parties here at Camp Beyond Law.
God.
Well, Will, you haven't been to a Camp Beyond
Alleged.
Law Christmas party. Have you heard anything about the Christmas parties at Camp Beyond Law? What have you heard?
I've heard that there's special gifts given out.
We do give a lot of gifts out.
Gecko, Gecko, I'm like speechless.
What are we doing here? This is a serious podcast, Will. Yes, we do. We do give a lot of gifts out, and they some of these gifts go boom.
Oh God.
We give some TVs out. We have nice steaks. We give some awards.
A lot
I
of
give some
toys out to the
speeches. A
kids.
lot of toys.
A lot of
Yes.
toys to the kids.
Actually, this year I was working with some of our folks on the marketing side, and we're going to actually, because they're telling me it's like you guys do this wonderful thing every year, right? You give away a bunch of toys for Christmas. You dress up like Santa Claus, And I'm like, yeah, because I love doing it. It's important to me. But you're not getting any credit for it. I'm like, well, I really don't need credit. And I'm like, well, we live in a day and age where, you should like tell people what you're doing because it might give you the ability to help more people, right? Like if people know, they might like, well, yeah, it's like a fair point, And it's kind of funny. Like I started talking to her. I'm like, we bought 300 freaking turkeys this year for people that needed turkeys. We gave away last year like $50,000-$60,000 worth of Christmas presents. Like, there's all these things that we do because we like doing,
Yeah.
but nobody really knows about it. So this year we're rebranding it as Campion Law Operation Christmas.
Ooh,
Okay.
I like that.
And
Is Santa gonna have combat boots this year?
Santa will not have combat boots on this year because I am Santa.
That's what I'm asking. Are you gonna get some combat boots? Maybe a helmet? I don't know. Let's see Operation.
It's not a bad idea, but I did say like I want the branding to be like military brand Operation Christmas or Operation Santa.
Yeah.
You
Like
know.
Operation Dumbo Drop.
Yeah. So I think this year
No.
there's going to be a little bit more branding around it.
Okay.
It should be good. Should be fun.
Oh, it's the best time of the year, so it's exciting.
We always have a good time. It's important. Like everybody around here works very hard. It's important, I think,
Yeah,
make
give back.
people feel it.
You should have Mike. You should dress up like one of those plastic toy soldiers. The toy soldiers from Toy Story. Like dress like one of those in the background.
Me and Kirby and you. Right.
Combat Santa. Oh, I wouldn't make no.
You're just giving them ideas.
Yeah, I'm just giving them ideas. I don't want to be a part of it.
There was
I'll
somebody around here that dressed up like an elf last year.
Oh yeah.
Do you
Very
remember?
lifelike. Too.
Yes, very lifelike.
Life size, everything.
Very much so. And I'm not trying to embarrass anybody by giving any names, but it was very, very fitting for the stature of this person.
I can't
all right.
remember, so you're gonna have to tell me after we're done because I can't remember who that was. You don't have to tell me now. It's fine. You can tell me.
This person and this person went up the hill to fetch a pail of water.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Now I remember.
Fair enough. So do we want to get into the Mayport murder which we promised this wonderful audience that we would dive into.
Yeah.
I do declare there has been a murder.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. So we talked about this.
Set the scene.
We talked about this a few episodes ago.
Yes.
There was a Mayport murder back in the 90s. A young lady, I believe her name was Miss Heins. Reason why it got brought up recently, we talked about, was the new DNA evidence, and they caught the guy that they feel
DNA, you say?
actually did it. So meaning that there was somebody that was arrested and convicted, did time, and then 13, 14 years later was found that it was impossible for him to commit the murder.
Was it longer than 13 or 14 years, or was it 13 or 14?
It may have been. I think it was. Let me see. It was 1994. He was released in like 2007.
Oh wow!
So what is that?
So why is this just news now?
So because the
I'd be
guy,
furious.
so
Absolutely
they were
furious.
doing all these. I think it was from the Innocence Project, and they did. I believe the gentleman, Mr. Heins, that was incarcerated, Chad Heins. It was like his last hope was he threw it to the Innocence Project and didn't really expect nothing out of it. They were doing a bunch of DNA tests, still didn't find anything, and then there was this update. I want to say it was in 2020 or something around there, and they were able to get a track of this DNA from the guy that they caught now, and I'll pull up his name before we get to it all, but it's
Will's got an interesting.
Oh,
video here.
actually, yeah, that's the interview where he talks about this. But essentially, yeah, they find out that the DNA that was on the lady that was murdered in that apartment was a family friend, not the brother-in-law that was originally arrested. So
I love the
crazy.
title. The title of this
Yes.
video
In a this is the
calls
title.
out slimy Jacksonville prosecutors.
Oh yeah, this is a good video.
Well, and the funny thing to me, not only are we looking at the Modus building, but do you remember when we did that commercial when we had him put Campion Law
Yeah.
on top of the Wells Fargo building?
then we got the landing,
Yeah, we got the landing, yes.
Oh my God, it's definitely old.
throwback.
The funny thing to me is I'm like very curious to see who the prosecutors are, because I have a feeling
Oh yeah, we might know them.
that they're probably somebody higher up in government today.
Yeah, let's see what's us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, let's see which ones they are. Or they might work for one of our competitors. We'll find out. All right.
Yeah. So they did arrest somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously this is in Jacksonville, so I was able to pull it up on the Duval County docket, so you can actually pull up, this case.
Yeah.
So I was able to pull up the arrest report back from, what was it, 1994, when it happened, and to be objective, to be fair, because obviously a jury hears this case and they convict
Somebody
him.
prosecuted
So
him, yeah.
if you look at the facts, like from what they knew back then, we have to kind of it's easier now. You can look at the DNA but there was some peculiar facts, and you heard it in that video,
And you listen to him, he's not like what you would call a likable guy.
right? And
Yeah.
and just the believability of it. So apparently she's asleep in the bedroom. They're in an apartment. He's on the couch, like right outside that room. The reason why, like, he wakes up because there's a fire, and then finds her dead, and then he's screaming. The cops come. They all investigate it. He's the only one in there that's found in there. It's so close to the room. She's found with 27 stab wounds. So like she was being stabbed for a while. You can imagine she's probably screaming. And there's proof of like forcible rape and her fighting herself off. So like there's a lot of evidence that's like, is it believable that he just slept through this whole thing?
Yeah.
Then there's the fire. And then, so you start thinking about that. Well, he says that, he burns it when he's running through like the house. Well, they find that he has like a burn mark on his thumb. But the fire investigators, what they determined what the cause of the fire is, that it was probably like a lighter. So they matched it up with the wound on his hand, and they said it looked like he burnt his hand when he like was lighting the lighter. And so they think he started the fire as well to try to cover things up. So, and then he makes a confession to his brother when his brother, which is the husband.
And that's what they were talking about on the video.
Yeah, and he says something along the lines when the cops hear him say that, "Hey, I'm sorry, I messed up."
Well, I can see that in his explanation, in the sense that, like, I was there
Right.
You know,
didn't
how did
wake
I
up.
sleep through this?
So with all that in totality, that's all you have at the time. They're looking for somebody to point the
Yep.
finger at.
He's in close proximity.
Yeah, is it totally crazy? He gets convicted.
No, circumstantial evidence is strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
It sounds.
so it's unfortunate. Luckily they find out now. It sounds like, but that's crazy to hear. But when you look at what was there, it wasn't a good look for him.
Now, the recent arrest that they made, what do we know about that?
Yeah, so that, like I said, like the Innocence Project, they run through their database and they find this guy, Michael Ziegler, and his case is open now. He was just arrested this past August, I think in Georgia, Covington, Georgia. He was living with his mom at the time, and I think he's like 50-something years old now. So,
Nice.
Crazy part is so they run this DNA thing, and it ties back to him. So you're like wondering, who is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's not a stranger to this lady, that Miss Heins, that dies. Like he was present at the wedding for her and her husband. They had a courthouse wedding. I guess I don't know if he was in the military or friends with them, but he was in the wedding, knew the husband, so he knew her. So, but his DNA is all over her, all over the bed, a lot of the evidence that was inside that apartment at the time. So,
How did they miss that the first go around?
well, I think for one, obviously back then they didn't have access to this, and then there was what I was reading on the Innocence Project. Like in 2017, they ran some DNA tests, but they didn't have like all the data, I guess, or maybe the technology with the DNA wasn't the same. And then somewhere a few years later, they ran some other tests, like kind of just running it because they were continually running, trying to see if they would hit it for years, would not find anything, and then finally got a hit.
So is that CODIS? They put it through CODIS?
I don't know. I don't know what they ran it through.
So they must have been like different databases or something.
Yeah, it's
like,
whatever the Innocence Project.
database.
There's several law enforcement agencies involved, I think, all over the country.
Well, you just hear stories too, like, right? Like they get somebody's DNA, and then I believe it's mandatory to provide your DNA if you're convicted of a felony.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I know you have to at least put your fingerprints and all that, and your fingerprints and I don't know like what other samples you have to give, but
So my understanding, like in a lot of these cases, right, is the person maybe hasn't been convicted of that, but 10 years down the road, they are convicted of some kind of felony. Their DNA goes into a database, and then if it's ran again, pop goes the weasel. Man, that's a chilling case too.
Yeah.
When you watch the guy, I mean, you can see why. I mean, understanding the evidence, seeing him, it's like, yeah, I get it.
It's about, your presentability and likability. I mean, that
It's a big part of it.
makes it, does make an impact on the case.
Yeah.
yeah. And then sometimes these people that are in these situations, they're not the most sophisticated people,
Yeah.
so they don't explain themselves well. They
Yeah.
might have mental issues themselves. We don't know what was going on with
Not
this
saying
guy.
that he does. Or
Yeah, we don't know. You don't know if he had any, drug issues, anything like that, where it just, didn't help him in this situation. So, but it's just crazy. But it's nice with the technology they have now that they can
Yeah.
really get down to some of these things.
Yeah.
Well, and jurors are human beings, right? So, when you talk about likability and whatnot, I mean, it's a factor.
Yeah.
People judge things, based upon their own, based upon their own life experiences,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's kind of interesting. Right here in our backyard, too.
Yeah, so we'll see how the other guy's case unfolds, but it sounds like the evidence is obviously a lot stronger against him now, and then the connections he has with the family and everything. It sucks it's this long after,
Yeah.
but hopefully they'll get some closure there.
Well, and it's funny, too, like Angela Corey's name came up. Angela Corey is she's still a fixture around here.
Yeah.
She's not, the lead prosecutor anymore. But, still see her at functions day to day. And, there was a lot of controversy at the time with how she prosecuted minors. I don't know enough about it to speak about it, but I just remember hearing those things. There's a pretty extensive rate in which she charged minors for adult crimes. Whether that was right or wrong, I'm not here to say, but it's interesting to hear her name come up.
Yeah. I mean, especially we were looking like, oh, who's the prosecutor? And then he says her by name. He's like, she didn't like me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I heard you talk. I can understand why.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything you want to add to it, Mike? If not, let's go ahead and sign off.
No, I think that's it. I think there's not much on the new case. It just happened. So, I guess when we learn more, we can talk about it. But it was just interesting that we were able to, obviously pull it up in our own neighborhood. And then there's all these YouTube things about it. So.
Yeah.
It's the ongoing murder saga.
The ongoing murder saga. And we will update more as new news comes out. Like I said last week, Will's got a big bonus coming if he can get us to a certain number of followers on Instagram. I mean, folks, if you care about Will, if you want the man,
you should.
Yes, if you want the man to succeed, please like and follow. Not for me, not for Frank or Mike. Do it for Will.
And be nice to him in the comments.
Yes.
I've seen a couple aggressive ones.
Aggressive. We're just here trying to provide, some entertainment for you folks. Trying to do it in a fun
content,
way.
as they say.
Making content. Yes. But yeah,
what they call it.
signing out, episode 10, allegedly. Like, please subscribe, follow, all of the above. And we'll continue to provide you with this fun commentary and outtake.
What people want.
Yes, and for all you folks watching out there looking for some new MLS news, there might be some next week. So keep following, keep watching.
Ooh, another teaser.
No, wait, next week. Okay. Next week.
Oh, and there might be, this is Tuesday. What is it, October the 27th or 28th? There might be some big news dropping tomorrow. So by the time this comes out, you'll see if I'm correct or not.
Ooh.
All right. Until next week, signing out, allegedly. We'll see you next time.